So it's not to define the strategy of the company, but it's to inspire and to give information to the management so that they would be taken into consideration in order when they define their strategy. So that's guiding by defining the vision, understanding the behaviors, evolution, and so on and so on. The second one is to translate. So the CEO and his team define the strategy. Okay, they want to be leaders in such area. Now you have to translate this strategy into design strategy itself. How you, as designer, going to translate this strategy into roadmaps, actions, and whatever. So there are the two main areas where you could be called a strategist in my view. Which means to have a certain understanding of the environment globally, not only of the company. I'll take an example. Most of the time, the company looks at the direct competitors. I've seen that very often when I was working for telephones, and they look at. But in fact, the danger, the problems, never, most of the time doesn't come from the direct competitors, come from other areas which you have not seen because you have not really tried to understand the evolution of the society. And the design is seeing that. Well, it's what I put in my teams is trendsetters. There are people who are involved with the evolution of the behaviors and obviously understand also what happened is a small signs provided by the society. I was also always interested to integrate social sciences like anthropology, ethnology, sociology, and I never really succeeded in the cooperation I have been to. However, I use them from outside resources for some projects.
Because they have the ability to oversee, to see bigger trends, bigger...
Yes, but also because against the designers, they are objective analysts.
Right.
Designers, even when they observe, they tend to take conclusions that they are looking for.
Yeah.
When a human scientist is very objective in his observations, and even myself, when I use them in some areas, I've been surprised, very much surprised. As I call that illustrating. I have been used in a way as such in some companies at the beginning, where the management had a strategy. He said, this is our target, this is what, the people we want to target, this is technology we have. And then I translated when I illustrated by products. So this, okay, this is a product for this target, for this target, for this target, and by doing this, I mean, they are so happy to see that you give sense and you give a tangible result to their strategy, who stays always in a very conceptual level. And that's a force of design against the main consultant companies who are obviously very much used by those big companies.